welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and like the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching. Hello, welcome back to another part of the Mistletoe Christmas special. Today, if it isn't obvious already, we will be premiering TsukiYama. So I wanted to try something a little different with this one. Because these specials are not part of any series, I would like for these to take part in different times. So some of these might be in high school and some of them might be post-time skip. Whatever may be the case, I'm sure it will be quite obvious in the storyline. So let's go ahead and get to it. Tsuki, come on! Tadashi giggled, pulling his lover out the door, who was still trying to put on his shoes and gloves. Hold on. He chuckled, pecking a small kiss on his forehead. In many ways, the smaller always reminded him of a goofy child that seemed to be full of surprises. A beautiful surprise. Yamaguchi pulled him up from the scarf and pulled him into a kiss. Tsukishima smiled into the kiss, taking in the sweet taste of his husband's lips. By now, he was beaming, feeling entirely overjoyed. His entire life, he felt like he was unable of knowing what love was, or if he ever could. But now, Tadashi was his euphoria. He was happy, home. He was where he was meant to be. Nothing could ever ruin this or any moment. Together, they could take on the entire world with their bare hands and come out without a scratch. While that may be a bit optimistic, the smaller made him that way. He used to be so pessimistic about everything, but just Tadashi's existence alone was enough to convince him wrong. He loved him and would gladly do anything to keep that love and happiness. Tadashi linked his gloved hand with Kei's, walking out of their front door, finally get a glimpse of the bright world outside of their home. Yamaguchi's eyes practically glowed and twinkled with his amber irises sparkling off of the snows like stars. Wow, it's so beautiful! He stared out into the landscape in pure awe at nature. Tsukishima just stared at his husband, who had a slight blush on his cheeks from the cold, and his smile was brighter than the sun itself. Yeah, so beautiful. Yamaguchi giggled, knowing that the blonde was looking at him while saying that. Tsukishima-kei, are you simping over me? Yamaguchi leaned up and laughed some more when his own breath fogged up the teller's glasses. Well, Tsukishima Tadashi, you should know that I am your #1 simp. He smirked, snaking his arm around his waist and leaned in close for a passionate kiss. He was cut short when he felt a hard, yet soft wave of cold snow hitting his face. Got you! Yamaguchi laughed while beginning to run away, knowing that he was in for it now. Oh, my dearest Yams, you've just made a grave error. The blonde scooped some snow into his hands, and instead of smishing it together into a snowball, he grabbed a hold of the smaller and shoved the pile of snow underneath his coat onto his bare back. Kei! Tsukishima leaned down while tilting the latter's chin upwards with his index finger and placed a kiss onto his plump lips. There's my kiss. He smiled softly, pulling back, seeing his lover at least 20 different shades of red. Who's the simp now? Oh, sweetheart, I'm head over heels for you. This time, a slight shade of pink dusted over Kei's cheeks. How could someone be so adorable and alluring all at the same time? Tadashi drove him crazy. Somehow, through all of the chaos, the two were sitting on top of the fresh blankets of snow, thoroughly soaking their pants. You know we are going to have to change before we actually leave now, right? Well, that wouldn't have to happen if you didn't ambush me. He was caught off when another snowball hit him in the face, this time successfully knocking his glasses off. Like that? He giggled, grabbing a hold of his husband's glasses. Tadashi? Suddenly, the winter air felt too thick. Previous experiences of similar past situations sent his heart pounding against his chest. His hands had a slight tremble holding the glasses that had a slight clack through the lens. He could sense the distress in his husband's voice. With many failed attempts, he was able to locate the smaller's hands that were shaking. What's wrong? He tried again, but he couldn't form the words, feeling panic overcome his entire body. He couldn't help but remember times he would mess something up at home growing up, and he would just get yelled at with such hurtful words, and he couldn't help but be brought to that point in time. He broke Tsukishima's glasses. He would get mad at him. Baby, look at me. It's okay. No. I broke your... The blonde pulled his husband into his arms, feeling more weight shift onto him, plunging him even further into the cold snow. He didn't even care who was watching. He just wanted to make sure his lover was okay. It's fine, honey. It's all okay. I can just get new ones. But It's okay. It's my fault. I should have worn my old goggles. No one got hurt. I'm okay. You're okay. It's okay. You did nothing wrong, love. The blonde hushed the smaller with sweet words of reassurance, running his fingers through Yamaguchi's locks while gently rocking back and forth. They are just glasses. They can easily be replaced. He pulled back and placed tiny little pecks all over the smaller's damp face, resulting in him giggling. Hey, that tickles. The blonde smiled, seeing that his lover wasn't panicked and crying like before. He once witnessed what happened to his lover back whenever they were in high school when his parents blew up on him and how that affected him. He swore that he would never ever let that happen. While he can't prevent attacks like this, he can only do his best to make his husband feel loved and not at fault, and always be there to reassure that everything was okay. Do you think you can leave me inside to get my spare? Tsukishima squinted, making funny faces so that the former pinch server wouldn't begin thinking it was his fault again and instead started laughing all over again. All that mattered was his husband's happiness, so what if that made him a simp? He would get that written on his forehead if it meant Tadashi's bright smile never dimmed. Yamaguchi stood up, leading the taller up, who tripped over a tree stump that was covered by snow, causing him to fall on top of Yamaguchi. The smaller froze, feeling snow go in places he'd rather not like to mention, and his teeth chattered. Are you okay? That was cold. Tsukishima chuckled. Looks like I'm falling for you. Falling on me, you mean? They both laughed, catching each other's contagious laughter, while new flakes slowly fell from the sky, making the moment even more magical. Tadashi reached up, brushing a strand of the blonde's hair. His hair had gotten longer since high school, when he decided to grow it out. Either way, Kei was perfect in his eyes. Let's try this again. He got up with Kei in hand and made it to the doorstep when the smaller stopped. Tadashi? He was jerked down suddenly by the scarf and felt his lips press against another. Instinctively, he smiled into the kiss with his hand snaking around Tadashi's waist once more. Their lips moved in sync, sharing the passionate and loving kiss, tasting each other's sweet taste. "What was that for?" he said, catching his breath. "We can't break tradition, can we?" The smaller giggled, pointing at the mistletoe right above them, but realized Kei wouldn't be able to make it out with his blurry vision. "It's mistletoe." The taller stared with wide hazel eyes, falling in love all over again. "Gosh, you're so perfect." He placed tiny kisses where Yamaguchi's freckles would be if the cold weather didn't make them fade. That was the one thing Kei absolutely despised about winter. "I love you, my world." The smaller opened their front door and turned back, stepping inside. "You're so cheesy today, Kei." His cheeks were a deep rose shade. "I just can't believe how lucky I got and how happy I am." Tadashi felt his eyes water at the sentiment, but shook it off. "I love you more, my everything." Well, that officially wraps up the TsukiYama Mistletoe Christmas special. Remember Iwo Oi? Well, how single do you feel now? Anyways, with the end of this video, that means we are officially halfway through the Mistletoe Christmas special series for this year. I know. I will definitely try to write more next year. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like to be kept up to date, check out any of my social medias. I hope that you all have a wonderful day or evening.